I've dreamt of this. This place of fear and fury. Do you hear it? The heartbeat of the lost ones. I can feel them on my skin. Each death, inked in blood. I won't stop fighting for them. Until the very last beat fades away.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. This makeup cosplay was brought to you by Bitch on a Budget Productions. Now, let's get into this look. It is finally time for Senua'S Saga Hellblade 2 to finally be released. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this game to come out. And this cosplay has been on the back burner since the announcement was made in 2019. This is what I had imagined this cosplay would look like. I wanted it to look metal AF. Death becomes her. Now, just remember, I am not a professional cosplayer. I am self-taught. This is all for shits and giggles and for fun. So don't read me for filth. Now, unfortunately, I will not be here when the game drops. Something had come up, and I will be uploading when I return the following week. You don't see videos on the channel. That is why I will not be home to record. I won't be home when the game releases. I have been looking forward to it since the announcement dropped. That Metal AF trailer had me shook to the core. Now I'm going to put at the end of this video my vlogging process. I actually remembered to take little vlog entries. I was vlogging as I was going, as I was creating this look, not everything. So stay tuned to the end to check out the process, the shenanigans that had gone on. Now, originally when the trailer dropped, this was in my, when I first started doing, like, I can't even call it cosplay. This was before I even sewed. I literally glued an outfit together. And my original idea back in 2020, I'll try and see if I can find some pics of what I had started to do, was yarn wig. I immediately, this was before I even started sewing. This was before I even started, I would hot glue stuff to fabric. That's how I started off doing cosplay before I taught myself how to sew and do all this other stuff. So I knew I wanted to do this makeup cosplay from way back in the day. I am not a perfect seamstress, hairdresser, makeup artist. You know this for sure. But back then it was even worse. It was even worse. So I'm like, oh, I have this already started. It's like it's already practically done. I won't even have to do it. Girl, garbage. Prison. That original cosplay was horrific. I wouldn't dare subject you to it. I might show you pictures if I'm not too embarrassed. Your girl has come a long way in creating these cosplays. Still far from perfection, so you can imagine how horrible it was. Now, I just recently got into crocheting and I'm obsessed. You know, I sew. I love to sew. I'm obsessed with sewing. I have my own side business where I sew accessories. I just recently got into crocheting, but this yarn wig was way back in the day when I originally saw this vision for this look. Okay, so that was probably the only thing that still stayed, except it's a different color. The original wig was like black and gray. I was so inspired by Maria Franz, the singer for Heilung, the soundtrack for the game, and for that original trailer. I had never heard of them before, but once I heard them, I was like obsessed. I am love that band, and I am so inspired by the talented, the iconic, the stunning Miss Maria Franz. And this look was totally inspired by her makeup, her hair, the color of her hair. We'll get into this mess in a minute. Please don't be insulted, Miss Maria Franz. I love you. I swear I love you. I swear this was meant to be an homage. Please don't be insulted. It's not perfect. I was going for heavy metal, death becomes her, high priestess. I wanted to do a modern glam metal, death metal look. Shout out to the iconic queen, Miss Maria Franz. This color wig was inspired by her gorgeous hair. Okay, so let's talk about the headpiece. Okay, I'll put all the screenshots of making this monstrosity. I had a vision in my head what to do for this cosplay. This is the black metal version of, in my mind, my concept for this. This is not, no shade, I am not cosplaying as her. This is my concept, my black metal, inspired by Maria Franz, okay. But that, her headpiece, I was like, oh, I would love to do antlers like that. But like everybody does antlers. Everyone does like the headband with the antlers and like it looks gorgeous and it looks stunning. But I'm like, how can I make it metal? How can I make it glamorous? How can I make it me? Okay. So I was so inspired. I'm like, okay, they have these antler chandeliers. There are actual chandeliers made out of antlers. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the vision I have. I've got to create this. This is how I created it. It was a very long process. It took a lot of work to wrap it in fabric. Then I had to measure for the different layers of the chandelier. So I had the chandelier layers. I had to make sure they were all measured correctly. And I wanted to make sure it had like a shape to it, and it had like, what's the word I'm looking for? Editing Deidre will put it here. To measure, to cut everything out, to make sure it fit in the levels that I wanted it to fit. Then I had to spray paint it, wrap it in the black. Everything is inspired by black glitter, black rhinestones. Everything was wrapped in black rhinestones. Then I decided to put, I don't know if you can even tell, but it lights up. I put lights around it like a chandelier. I said, if it's a chandelier, I'm going to have lights on it. It's probably hard to see because it's like, it's little, little lights that I could rig up onto the chandelier. So I have the lights on the chandelier. I made these foam cutouts of antlers, covered them in these clear, gorgeous rhinestones to make them sparkle like this gorgeous like chandelier that I would love to have. So I'm like, I have to fit it on my head. How the heck am I going to fit on my head? I wanted it to be opulent. I wanted it to be extravagant. I wanted it to be over the top, literally over the top. That is over 2.5 feet tall. I could not wear shoes. I could not wear anything on my feet because I was taller than the ceiling. I could barely fit in the room with that contraption on my head. With the chandelier on my head, I could not wear shoes. I could not wear anything on my feet because I was already touching the ceiling with that. Okay, so that's how tall it was. It was almost 3 feet tall. I went a little crazy, but I love a big statement piece. The makeup has already been running because my eyes were tearing like crazy, so I tried to fix it best I can. That chandelier, to try and get it to where it would sit, I could not move with it on because it was so heavy. It was so big that it would not sit on my head with an elastic band. It would not sit on my head with pins. It would not. I was like literally thinking of just like, I tried the screw gun to try and get the screws to like even put it through the wig okay, so what I had to do was I put like dowels, like wooden dowels, I spray painted them black and put them inside to give it some stability. So I just like made little holes and I used a hammer and everything. Oh my God, I used so many tools. I used a screw gun and a hammer. I'm so proud of myself. So I hammered them in. Okay, but now I put those two skewers, made holes in the headband, which I wrapped in the yarn the same color as this. So maybe with like camouflage it a little bit, you wouldn't be so obvious. So it was able to sit on top and be connected to the headband, which was going to be on my head, which barely fit because this wig is so big. I was like, oh no, it's not going to stay. The elastic band was not holding it up. I needed stability. So what I did was I took like a giant dowel, spray painted it black, and I was able to put it inside the structure, the base, and the actual dowel was 3 feet long. So what I had to do was I put it down the back of my shirt, the back of my top, through the bra strap, through the Spanx, okay? And it was like I literally had a rod down my back to hold it up, to make it sit perfectly as possible on my head without falling. So I literally had a rod in my spine to make this look work, okay? But I made it work. I don't know how I did it, but you get very creative when you're like under the gun and panicking that it's not going to get done. I was like, that is not going on the this didn't make it pile, I promise. So I made it work. That was that gorgeous chandelier and how I actually got it to stay up and be stable. It was a miracle, girl. Now, the scepter is also one of the original, the OG, was an OG from the original cosplay that I did in 2021. It was inspired from, in the gameplay video, they showed this like giant effigy that was shaped like, shaped like two half moons. I'm like, oh my God, that I have to incorporate into it. So I made this, it's taller than me. I'm like only like 5'5", but it's taller than me. I wrapped it in black duct tape. I made the little half moons out of like paper towels, wrapped in old Christmas paper, spray painted with black spray paint, and then I covered it with rhinestones. Okay, so it is like bitch on a budget. You want to talk about that? Paper towels, girl. That's how I made that work. And I already had the long roll of rhinestones, so that I already had. Okay, so it's a little busted, but it looks, the imagery from the gameplay that I saw that I was so inspired by. I would love to see Heilung live. I love them so much. I would love one day to see them live. I would not survive. I would not survive. I would pass away at any moment. I love them. Now, I always have to wear a choker. It's like my signature piece. I just love a choker. I just love this neck piece. So I made this one. This was made from faux latex fabric that I had. Okay, so I made this, and then these are glued on. The rest are actually studs. Are these? Yeah, like these are actually studs in the back that I studded the gloves and everything, but this I had to glue on. So I had to have my signature piece and the glove. So I had a pattern for gloves. Okay, and these are like these opera length fingerless gloves, which oh my God, I love them so much. I always had such a hard time making gloves, and this pattern was like perfect. So I was able to make these gorgeous opera length faux latex or leather, whatever you want to call it, I forget what it is, gloves. I studded them all. They're all studded with the spikes that are on the wrists here. And up here, I just wanted to make it look metal, and I wanted to have the theme of like spikes, glitter, glam, goth shenanigans. The top and the skirt that I have was repurposed. We're all about reusing and recycling patterns that I already had. I already had this pattern. I thought it would be perfect because it just reminded me of Maria's gown, her dress that she wears. So this is like the faux leather top, sweetheart neckline. So I already used it for my gold cosplay for a Plague Tale Requiem. This is the same pattern, but totally different fabrics. Okay, so I used the faux suede in like the front panel, two side panels. I have the faux leather, and in the back I ran out of fabric, so we used just some plain old black cotton fabric in the back, but you can't see it, so just pretend you didn't see that I have 3 different fabrics on a dress that has no business having 3 different fabrics. So that was that. Okay, and the wig, I said, oh my God, I love her hair so much. It's like this beautiful red strawberry blonde color. So I said, I want it super long. Her hair is so long, but I'm like, if I wanted to buy a wig that was as long as I wanted it to look, it's going to be, I would not be able to afford it. It would have to be wigs on wigs on wigs, stacked and layered. I ain't got that type of money. I ain't got that type of time, and I don't know how to style wigs. So what do? I decide to make something 10 times harder for me to make than if I just bought a wig, of course. So I love crocheting. I just started, so I'm obsessed with it. But when I was like, I want to do her hair, so I'm like, all right, instead of just one hair, it would look very Raggedy Ann. So I'm like, I ain't looking like no Raggedy Ann. Let me do some orange. I have some bright red and some like burgundy strands. This is 3 pounds of yarn on my head. 3 pounds. That's a lot of yarn, girl. That's a lot of weight on my head. And the headpiece, I'm going to have some migraine later. So I made wefts. I'm going to show you the process, how I did it here. I'll put it at the end. So how I was able to do it was I was able to take the 3 yarns of thread and just pull them together. And then I was able to attach them. I was like, I would cut long, super long strands, and I would make wefts. So I'm like, how am I going to sew it? You can't really sew into anything. So I decided to sew it with some tracing paper on the back, and then I could just rip away the tracing paper and I would have sewn in wefts. So that's literally how I did it. P.S. That's how I did it. Very long story short, I'll show you the process at the end. So I made like 50 wefts. Oh my God. And they're long and luxurious, and the color came out stunning because it's like kind of random how it just lays because you don't know how it's going to lay. And yarn is like kind of like curly. So the yarn is kind of like curly. So I'm like, oh no. So I decided to straighten every strand of yarn here to make it look like hair, to make it look not Raggedy Annie. So that's why it looks so straight. I don't spend this much time on my own hair. But for these cosplays, I put in all the work. Okay, this took, I don't know, so long, over an hour or two, just to straighten every single piece. Then I had to cut it, but it was because it was so weird how it was going to fit with the headpiece. I kind of had to like cut it while I was standing in it this morning, because to kind of make sure it was even. I'm like, if I cut it and I wear it like a different way, or it pulls a different way, it's going to look uneven. So I cut it this morning to try and get it to look even as possible. It is not even as possible, but it's as even as I was ever going to get it. So don't read me for filth. That's how I did that. And I love the way it came out. I absolutely love the way it came out. I actually gave myself a hairline this time. I didn't forget to give myself a hairline. Okay, so let's get into the makeup. Totally inspired by Maria Franz. She wears, this is her signature eye look, but I Deidre-fied it. I wanted to make it sparkly and to go with the whole glamorous, opulent theme of the headpiece, the antler chandelier. Once again, I always say it's never going to take 3 hours to do this makeup. And then I do the makeup, and it is always 3 hours, if not longer. This was a little bit over 3 hours because the line work I really wanted to get perfect. I really took my time with it. 3 hours for this makeup. I know it doesn't look it, but it did. Her lipstick that she wears has like a little white dot on it. I did that with like a little white glitter. I did black lips. She wears the black lipstick, but I did it with the black glitter. I just incorporated the glitter in these points here, these wings on the bottom. And I really took it up, covered the brows, and I really took it up how I smoked out the top. She has the nose contour very dark, so I really wanted to incorporate like her techniques, how she puts this makeup on, or how she wears this makeup. A little bit of contour, barely here and here. I just wanted to cut it off at the neck, just have it on the face. I love a good black and white makeup look. Any chance I get to do something inspired, I was so thrilled. I could not wait to. This has been in the making for years, since the first announcement. So this is like so special that I was able to actually pull it off. I'm really happy with the way the makeup came out. I'm really happy the way the wig came out. I'm really happy the way everything else came out. The gloves. I mean, I really wanted to wear the shoes. I think I showed the shoes at the end. I just put them on because they're like these high heel combat boots. If I should have been wearing those, but I was too high in the ceiling. But the chandelier came out perfect. I'm so happy I was able to wear it and keep it on and stabilize it so it was able to stay on. But I really could not, when I was trying to, I could not move around in it. It was raw down my back. So it stayed on. And I really loved the way everything came out. So I'm so excited for Senua'S Saga. I'm so excited. Congratulations to Ninja Theory for doing such an amazing job. Every bit of gameplay I have been gobbling up. Everything they show, every trailer, every behind the scenes, the making of, I have been watching, and I cannot wait to play it. Like I said, I'm not going to be home the day it drops, so I will be playing it as soon as humanly possible, as soon as I get back. I can't believe that I waited all these years to play it, and now I'm not going to be here when it comes out. It's like the story of my life. But anyway, it's all good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching these shenanigans. I really hope you enjoyed this look. Nothing but love and respect to Ninja Theory, to Melina Juergens. Just adore her. I adore her. She's so talented. It's not even funny. I'm so obsessed with her. I love her. Love Maria Franz and Heilung. So inspired by them. Let me know in the comments. Are you excited to play Senua'S Saga Hellblade 2? I cannot wait. That's it for this look. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll be back with more. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just doing like a little intro vlog about my Hellblade 2 cosplay that I have been working on. I started working on it in 2021, January of 2021. Okay, right after it was announced, I was like, 2020, sometime in 2020, I started originally doing this cosplay. Now, my cosplay at the beginning was very hot glue, very staples, very like scotch tape, electric tape, because I had no idea how to sew, I had no idea how to do anything. Now I'm a little bit more experienced teaching myself how to do things and how to sew, all that good stuff. So now I had originally had this cosplay done, right? I'm like, oh, this is great. This is like the best cosplay. It was not. It was so busted. I pulled it out of the closet. I pulled that headpiece out of the closet and I said, no ma'am, I cannot, absolutely under no circumstances, use this cosplay. I wouldn't even put it on Miss Denise again. Miss Denise, my dress form. She would quit. She would quit immediately. She would go straight to HR and say, I cannot wear this. This is a distressful working environment. So I started from scratch, and I started again. I'm going to attempt to make a giant yarn wig, bitch, with these 3 colors, this, and this. So I'm going to attempt to make a yarn wig. I might do some time lapse of me trying to do it, but it's hard because I'm using this stand that I am recording this on right now as one of my yarn wig holders. So I'm using my 2 stands to make this yarn wig, so I might not be able to do a time lapse, but I will definitely take pictures as I'm going along. So that's the deal with that. Vlog entry. Of course, this is past Deidre saying this. God knows what it's going to wind up looking like with future Deidre, but the actual cosplay. So we're going to try that and see how it goes. So wish me luck. This is, oh gosh, it's April 26th, 7th. I don't even know what day it is. So I'm trying to get this done. I've been so busy with everything. I know it should have been done months ago, but it's been so busy, crazy. So let's see how it turns out. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Say a prayer to the metal gods that I get this wig done and this whole cosplay done in time.
That the wefts are all straightened, I'm going to start gluing them on the wig head and the wig cap. But I'm going to start off with the wig cap inside out so I can do around the hairline, so when I flip it over I'll have a hairline and not just a straight edge. So I'm going to see how that goes first. Oh my good lord, I think she is done. About 40 wefts and 90 sticks of glue later, she is finished. She is so heavy. I can't even move this wig around on the table. I'm gonna have to do some haircuts so I can actually move around in this, because this is 3 pounds of hair. I use 3 1-pound skeins of yarn. Whew, Lord, and am I glad I did the upside down hairline, because that saved this look 100%. I spent more time straightening this hair than I ever have on my own hair in my life. Straightening with my straightening iron after just cutting out these wefts, then sewing the wefts. I had to sew each weft together. That trick with the tracing paper really worked well. And I'm really happy how this turned out. I'm gonna let her sit and really dry, because the top pieces are still drying, but I think it came out really good. I did not even attempt to try it on yet. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get this high up so I can see the length and where I want it to end. So I'm gonna give it a haircut, then come back with the final look after I attempt to cut this question mark. This is the final wig, the final iteration of this wig. I'm really, really happy the way it came out. I'm glad I made it extra long to make sure it was the length that I wanted, because I know if I went longer, I can always cut it shorter, but if I went too short and I messed up, I would be screwed. So this is gorgeous. I'm really happy the way it looks. Don't worry, all this yarn will not go to waste. I will be using it for other projects. And there is the crown, and oh god, I don't know how it's so heavy, and this wig is so heavy. It's got, well, now with all that cut off, it's probably still 2 pounds. I'm not a hairstylist. It's a little crooked at the bottom, but I can fix that, finagle it. But I really, really like the way this came out. But do you see how big that is and how long this wig is? Oh my god, how am I going to attach it? And how is it going to stay? I'm hoping for elastic. I hope elastic will save my life here. So we're back, we're finished with the wig. I had to completely redo this dress, the skirt part of the gown. It has 3 different types of fabric on it because we ran out of fabric of the faux leather. So we had to pull in the faux suede after we had used this, I don't know, low grade cotton in the back because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of fabric. I had enough for the top, but I didn't have enough for the whole entire skirt because it is it's large and voluminous. So the faux suede looks so much better on it. I wanted to, I could have done it all in one, but I liked how it looked in like 2 different fabrics. It just makes that middle panel stand out. And the faux suede, I've never worked with it before. It looks beautiful. I'm really happy with that. It's not Miss Sebastian because Miss Sebastian is buried under tons of rubble and fabrics and a mess. I don't even want to show you what's over there. So that's what this looks like. I had to redo her. I installed the zipper and it looks so much better. Now, with this monster, I have tried to figure out how I'm going to do this, because how am I going to attach this to this gorgeous, stunning wig and have it stay on my head? I have some red elastic here. I have some black felt. What I'm thinking is going to cut out a circular piece of felt for the bottom of that and stick the elastic between the cone and the felt and glue it on so it doesn't move. I might need 2 straps of elastic. Now I got the red so it matches the hair, so if you see it, it won't be too bad, but you'll still see it under my chin. I don't know what to do. My dream is to try and get this to light up. Let's hope it works out. It may not. Who knows? Let's just hope it stays on my head, because this thing is a monster and that thing is a monster. It's heavy, bitch. Okay, I think I have figured out how to do the lighting for my quote-unquote chandelier. I've got these little battery-operated tea lights that I have wrapped around, and the battery pack is on the back. I'm going to cover it with black electrical tape, and hopefully it will sit nicely and illuminate it, because that's really what I wanted, to get that light effect like it was a chandelier. This is like the neatest way I can do it. I will finesse it to make sure they all lay flat, but that's it. Hopefully that will be able to sit on my head. So I'm trying to figure out a way how to attach this headband, the hair, the hat, the headpiece all together, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. So what I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that screw gun. I want to say screw gun. I don't know tools. That is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to try and drill 3 holes through this headband that I made. I wrapped in the yarn / hair, and I'm going to drill a hole through this headband, 3 holes, and I'm going to use those little skewers over there to poke through the headband through to here, and hopefully it'll be long enough so it'll stabilize it on my head, and then I could glue this down with a piece of felt and elastic underneath it, so I can use it for double stability. So this is what I have. So this is what I made. It's like 2 pieces of felt together with the red elastic sewn together to go around my head to hold it on, that I can also glue on after the headband is on. So I really have it stable. I mean, I could glue it to this wig, but you know what? If I have to take it off, or if it doesn't sit right, I'm screwed and I can't move it. So I'd rather have it glued to the headband, and then I can always work from there. So I know this is like a mess, but we're gonna try and work it out today. Wish me luck. I want to record tomorrow, so let's hope this works.